Hello, hiya, it's LindaLee, and welcome back. I lost you somehow, some way. The internet apparently has got a little bit of its own mind going on tonight, and I just actually unbundled this, and I'm just starting to do a reveal. This particular batch was beet juice, and I did some of the mini red carnations as well as a little bit of the begonia flower. The difference is I let it boil for about 2 hours, but then my guy came home from work and he needed work boots in a bad way, so we went shopping and I left everything pretty much in the water. So I'm not sure what that's going to do to the overall result of what we're looking at. So far, everything kind of looks just dark. Like this part here. This is a lot darker than I was expecting it to be. But you never know. Once it's dry, that's when you really know what's going on. In the meantime, we're just going to unbundle this and let it dry and see, because you never know. Look at that though. That looks awesome. It's that little envelope. So I did some envelopes again, but I did smaller ones this time. So I also did a little bit of fabric. Let's see if I can. It does have blue splotches in it and some purple looking color. Kind of cool, huh? But again, we don't really know what it's going to look like until it dries. So once this is all done rinsing, I'll do like I've been doing and just have a little dry reveal of everything that was in the kettle. I did a little piece of lace too, but it's weird how color took to only bits of this, so I'm not sure what would cause such an extreme variation. But it's all going to be awesome. It always is. I like that it's different every time. I really do. Although sometimes I really kind of want to influence in one way or another, but to me it doesn't really matter. It's all so totally cool. Look at that. The other side. Now while I was doing the batch, I still sprayed alum in between everything like I normally do. Those are the red mini carnation leaves. And there is some green, some brighter green. So it looks like the onion water yields a much stronger result. Look at that. That's really pretty though, isn't it? Wow. Get this open. Holy moly, look how dark that one is. So I believe what I'm going to do is if you are part of our Junk Journal Junkies ETC group, the group anniversary is the 15th through the 18th. And we're going to have different little games and be giving away different little prizes. I think part of this batch is going to be one of the part of what I give away, because I'm going to do a little assorted eco bundle for my prize. We're going to have like 5 or 6 days, I believe, of different little games. So everybody's got to play the games, take part. We've got a bingo game. I have a guessing game. I'm not sure what the other games were. Some trivia and treasure hunt, maybe. But yeah, the group's anniversary or birthday was actually created on June 18th. So, and that's what we're going to be celebrating all week, that week. So I'll have the link to my group in the description of this video. I don't have any of my papers listed in my Etsy store. I'm still trying to figure out a watermark. But I will have my papers listed there, probably in another coming week or so. I'm still working on the carpetbagger journal, so I did a lot of coffee treatment today to my pages. So everything's moving right along. Look at that. So what do you guys think? Do you like seeing this reveal part, the rinsing? Or do you just want to see them dry? You know, you probably want to see me bundle everything up once or twice, don't you? I just never know for certain when I'm going to do it. This is really pretty. I'm trying to stay out of my light, or your light, the light. I think with these envelopes I'm going to make up some card sets and put them in my Etsy. It's way too pretty. This was a pretty good sized bundle too. I think we're getting close to about halfway through it. I actually got some flowers from the neighbors to use in this eco dye, and I totally forgot to use them. So who knows, maybe I'll do another batch in a couple days or another day or two. I can't let them go to waste. They're still pretty though, so they're gonna last another maybe day or so before they start to deteriorate. Sometimes though, when they're on their way out, they actually do a little better. Same thing with the leaves. Sometimes when I pick the green foliage stuff and don't use it right away, sometimes it seems like I get a little bit better result when they're, you know, kind of partially dried out. Are you guys seeing this purple? Purple and green. And I used beet juice. Too cool. Okay, so we've got my traditional ferns. These are the mini carnations, the red ones, hibiscus leaf. This is the coleus leaf, and the Schefflera arabicola right here. Oh, that's right, I did a bag too. I had one paper bag, so I threw it in this too. See how that dries. Probably have to do a little repair work on the glue maybe. Oh my goodness, look at that. There's the bottom of the bag just fell open. Cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments if I should continue when I do the reveals to do this, or if you really just prefer to see the end result of it all. Because I want you guys to watch and enjoy the videos. So just let me know what it is you enjoy the most, so I can kind of do that for you. Me, I get to enjoy it the whole way through, so. Water on just a little more. Water was getting a little too warm. Okay. almost looks like they were blueberries, doesn't it? The way it left color. I'm fighting with the water tonight. Florida doesn't have cold water, so but you can kind of easily get hot water. Another envelope. Okay, now last time I used some begonias and they left more green. But I'm not seeing the begonias yet. I don't know. We should already be in there with the begonias. This whole envelope's coming apart. Maybe the begonias just left blue instead of green this time. With the beet juice. I think that's what happened. Because these are begonias. Interesting. Wow. I'm perplexed. In a good way, though. My ferns always do well. That's one thing I can always count on usually. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the bottom. I think I have maybe one more bundle left. And I have some seam binding in the bottom, some white, so let's see how that took to the color. If it's anything like that lace, I don't know. Last bundle. Almost. Another envelope. How pretty is that? I wonder if that'll still look like it's purple when it's dry. I usually try to do like 10 of the big ones, inserting the smaller ones in between. So I think I might have had maybe one or two more than the 10 in this batch. But the begonias didn't leave the little green splotches, they left blue like the red carnations did. Look at that. So chances are by the time you see this, it'll be tomorrow morning. Is another envelope? Or just a paper? It's just a paper. That whole leaf came out. The seam binding came out all super grungy. like it's almost a purplish color. Okay, this is going to be the last bundle. Almost nothing. Isn't that weird? And that was in the bottom of the pot, where everything you would think would be the most concentrated. That looks awesome though. Alright, that's it, my friends. So I'm going to let you go, and we'll come back when everything is dry, which will probably be, what time is it now? It's like 8, so it might be dry before I go to bed, but I probably won't record anything till morning. So, but you'll get to see all of it tomorrow. Yay! So I'm going to lay it all out and go back to working on the carpetbagger journal. Alrighty. There we go. Pretty good. Very different again. Yeah. Alright. Hi, it's LindaLee, and we have our dried eco papers from yesterday, and they're beautiful prints. They turned out really cool and definitely different than the previous ones I've had that I did, you know, like last week or a little more. Yeah, last week I guess it was. Anyway, once they were dry, I put them under some weight to flatten them a little bit. This is a heavier paper, so it can take up some volume, you know, if they go to be used and they're at their full wrinkle with natural air drying. So I flatten them out a little bit. I do not iron anything, but I do weight them so that they flatten out a bit. But they still have, you know, the ruffly texture. Anyway, let's take a look at them because they're gorgeous. They turned out really cool. When I was rinsing them off yesterday, it didn't really have much of a different look. The two different flowers that I use, because I used the begonia and I also used the mini red carnations in there again. But when they're dry, you can definitely tell the difference. So these are the actual begonias. And the water, again, as I stated yesterday, was beet juice. So there was beet juice. I did put maybe a half a cup of coffee in there. Basically, it was just what was left in the pot from the morning. So not a lot of coffee though, but I guess enough to influence it a little bit because I got some nice dark grungy in here. So I don't know if that's from the coffee or just the leaves and the beet juice, or, well, actually it's a combination of all of it, of course, but still. I guess I have yet to do a batch with beet juice, not adding anything. I just can't help myself, especially when it comes to coffee, because everything looks so cool, you know, with that grunge. But we've got the same plants that I normally use, the hibiscus, the ferns, the coleus. I have the Schefflera arbicola, and the begonias. And I think I did 10 prints like I normally try to do each batch. I try to do at least 10 of these large ones. That way it gives me, you know, 2 kits. with the way I bundle it all. Isn't it pretty though? The ferns are just so gorgeous. One of these times I'm gonna focus more on just ferns and see what happens. there's just so many variations, and you change something up just a wee bit and all of a sudden it's a whole different result. So I think this is one of the prettiest pages. And all 4 leaves represented here, the different plants that I use. There's the little hibiscus in the background. It's so pretty. But the blue, the green, the first time I used the begonias, these turned out very green. You know, more of a vibrant green all on their own. This time they were blue. Now these are the mini carnations. You can kind of tell by the shape of the leaves. And these are definitely blue. So this must be where I just started using them, and this actually bled through from the other side. And remember, this is a mixed media paper, so it's pretty coarse, or heavy I should say. This one I didn't have any blue in, I don't think. And here this is just bleed through from probably the other page, a little bit here. I used envelopes in this batch. They're small envelopes, though, smaller than I did in the previous batch. But I'll show you those in a few minutes. Well, a minute. It won't take that long to get through this. Aren't they pretty, though? Some of the definition is a lot more subtle, and then others are so much more extreme. This is pretty too. Now this was a different plant, this flower. I don't know what it was called. I only picked one sprig from the front office though. And it was a blue flower. I should look it up. Isn't that pretty? This page is probably one of the most colorful of the whole batch. The blues and the greens and the yellow, the grunge. And then the petals, because I pull the flower apart. Okay, so that is the papers themselves. Here are the little papers, because I do the small ones too. I didn't go through and kind of... So some of them are really dark and some of them are not. It's like this one's got some really dark. And I have 2 different envelopes. Oh, I'm not to the envelopes yet. Here we go. More of the little papers. definitely the begonia. That one is the mini carnation. Isn't that cool? It'd be cool if I could transfer on a t-shirt. Maybe one of these times I'll try. Alright, now I have some envelopes. 2 different envelopes. Different types of paper. So this one was the kind of like a more traditional gift card type envelope, you know, with the square back flap. And these didn't come unglued, you know. The other little ones that I did actually came unglued. Isn't that pretty? So I'll probably be making some sets and maybe make some cards with, you know, the smaller pieces. That's my intention anyway. And the last one with that paper. I love the subtle. It's so pretty. Okay, and then the last of the envelopes, the other kind of envelope. Now these other ones came completely unglued. So if I make sets out of them, I'd have to glue them back together. But I don't know if I should glue them or if, you know, whoever ends up with the envelopes, if they want to glue it, they glue it. Because I know it's nice to have them as like a journaling spot on the inside, and then you just kind of hide. So here's the front of that envelope. Next envelope. They're gorgeous. I can't get over how pretty they are. And every time it's different. You know, I kind of think I know about what it's going to look like. Even the inside is beautiful. I don't know, let me know what you think, if I should glue them or not. Leave me a comment. And the arbicola there. And this one is, I think, the darkest of all the envelopes. Isn't it awesome? Now, the way these film are a little different than how they really look. Anyone who's purchased them knows that when you get it in your hands, they look a little bit different. They're more gorgeous in person. They really are. So, the question is, should I glue those shut? And in the previous section, I think my question was, should I do the rinse and then show the dry? Or do you guys just want to see the dry? And then I threw a couple other things in here. This is a bag. This was more of a paper bag than a glassine. I only had one. This came unglued too, but when I dried, oh no, it's not stuck. So that needs to be glued. And then the other side. Sorry, I think I did that off screen. to see that, the bottom. And then I did some of the fabrics. So this is seam binding. It was a piece of white. Can you see it with this creamy background? Here, let me do this. Let me move this. That way we have a more solid background with these. But look at the seam binding, how grungy and pretty it is. Is that not gorgeous? And then this lace I had in the very same pot. It was slightly creamy in color, and parts of it took the dye and parts of it did not. Isn't that cool? Part of it turned like a reddish color, so it did acknowledge at least the beet juice and the flowers where the blue is. But then I got different variations of the grungy. Isn't that cool? I couldn't have planned that if I tried. And then this eyelet fabric. This was on the outside, I want to say. But it's nice because it easily bleeds through. So I think this was the outside for the bottom half. And this was the outside for the other side. Isn't that pretty? So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the fabrics. But I'm definitely going to, at least as long as I have something that will pick up the color, I'm going to throw something in with each batch. So that's it. That's all I got. Bring it all in, actually. My crazy chaos and beautiful, beautiful. Here, this is my, I think that's my favorite right here. Envelopes. So that's it for today, my friends. Until the next video, we'll see you soon, okay? Have a great day. Okay, I'll stop fussing. Have a good night. Bye-bye.